Several men have tried to be James Bond, but no one has ever been able to step into the shoes, Crockett and Jones, black calfskin, of the one and only Sir Sean Connery.
Sean, even though you were a Scottish milkman before you were born, you never wore a kilt, like I did in the criminally underrated On Her Majesty's Secret Service. You did wear a wig to hide your increasingly obvious baldness, though.
Well, George, you were an Australian underwear model who literally made up a bunch of films you'd starred in to convince producers to give you the role of Bond. But no one has ever worn a safari suit in the same degree of casuality, cooked a quiche or raised an eyebrow in such an arch manner as the suavest man ever to fire a gun. Roger Moore.
The oldest man to ever fire a gun more like Roger. No one did edgy Bond like me. I quit MI6 to pursue a blood-soaked vendetta and License to Kill, and teamed up with the Taliban in the Living Daylights. To be fair, everyone was doing that in the 80s, including Rambo. I was the deadliest Bond, killing 47 people in GoldenEye. You were also the most boring. How many people have starred in a film where the video game adaptation was far better? Golden Gun for the win, by the way. One thing you all missed is that I'm by far the most successful Bond at the box office. But not with the ladies. I'm a famously conning linguist.
Shut up and go back to knob twiddling on your N64. My dad, Andrew Bond, was a Scottish arms dealer and my mum, Monique Delacroix, was Swiss. Both the books and films agree that you get
your 00 license to kill after killing 2 enemy agents.
This does rather beg the question. Why do you need a license to kill after you've already killed 2 people? Talking of death sentences, I've been married twice.
Once on Her Majesty's Secret Service, a film which most people reckon gets better every time you re-watch it.
And once in You Only Live Twice, by marrying Japanese agent Kishi Suzuki was part of my disguise so I could pass for Japanese.
Ah yes, when you've yellowed up. Good God, Sean, your accent was so thick you couldn't even pass for English.
I saved the world from a rogue Chinese agent working for Spectre in Dr. No. The Aston Martin that fired villains out of its roof introduced the gadgets that became a franchise hallmark. If you want to check out some of my craziest gadgets, click the red button. It'll fire the first person next to you through the roof. Oh, it won't. Shame. Then I stopped Spectre's number 2, Emil Largo, starting a nuclear war from his yacht.
I stopped Spectre using a healthcare clinic to spread bacterial agents across the West. In revenge, Blofeld killed my wife. This all took place in what I think is the most underrated Bond film, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. A movie that real Bond fans agree, in fact, is really good.
Give it a rest, George. The movie was a fucking disaster. I was paid a then record fee of $1.25 million to come back for Diamonds Are Forever. A film most Bond fans agree has a really homophobic portrayal of the 2 villains.
Then I came on board. I don't need an ejector seat to send the amount of puns per film shot through the roof. Over 7 films I stopped nuclear wars, solar power, and went into space. I dressed as a clown and an ape, and gave a Tarzan yell during a vine-swinging chase sequence. Then, in A View to a Kill, I went back to battling a madman who was going to nuke Silicon Valley, so he could eliminate his competition and dominate the world's computer industry. Let's hope no one at Microsoft watches A View to a Kill after seeing the latest Windows phone sales figures.
I don't think there's any danger anyone will ever watch A View to a Kill again, Roger. By that point you'll have so old, even your famous eyebrow needed a stair lift to be raised. With the Living Daylights, I took Bond back to a world of double-cross and espionage. In License to Kill, needing to compete with Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, I showcased the darker side of James Bond by going rogue and tackling vicious drug dealers. Then I reinvigorated the franchise with GoldenEye. Most people really loved the intense action, the split-screen 4-player mode, and the fact that consoles finally had a decent first-person shooter. Oh wait, that's a video game. Then, to mark the 20th Bond film, we went big. Die Another Day saw me surf into North Korea, have a sword fight with Madonna.
Well, really?
Not that kind of sword fight, Roger. I also drove an invisible car and battled a crazed North Korean with diamonds stuck in his face. Well, hardcore and casual fans alike all thought it was terrible and wished that the film had just straight up died rather than hanging around for another day. I kicked the franchise up the arse with Casino Royale, taking the series back to the gritty tone of the books. Piss off, Tim. Fans love the epic stunts and dangerous brutality that I brought to Bond. Over the years I've killed midgets, a man with one eye, a hideously scarred madman, a man with 3 nipples, a man with metal prosthetic hands, a man with 1 prosthetic claw for a hand, a man in a wheelchair, a man with terrible dental work, and a man with a bleeding eye. Oh, actually I didn't kill him, he got shot by Spectre after he'd been whipping my balls whilst I was tied naked to a chair. Basically, if you're disabled or disfigured, don't go anywhere near James Bond. I've also romanced some of the most beautiful women in the world, who also happen to have some of the stupidest names in the world. Pussy, Honey, Kissy, Christmas, On a Top, Pussy, Good Night, Good Head, Warm Flash, Octopussy, and of course Pussy.
All that remains is to me to say thanks for watching. My name's Bond. James Bond.
No, my name's Bond, James Bond. Oh, and do watch on Her Majesty's Secret Service again. I think you'll find his age really well.
No, my name's Bond. James Bond.
No, my name is Bond, James Bond. No, my name's Bond, James. Oh, hang on. This is a really tricky bit. Oh, fuck. He got me with a headshot. No, my name is Bond, James Bond. If you're shaken but not yet stirred, head over to the Draw My Life channel here to check out Sam Smith and his writing on the wall. And don't forget to subscribe.
Hi, it's me, Sam Smith. Thanks for all tuning in and listening to this Draw My Life. Usually my best work comes from heartbreak and loneliness, but